Hi, Tarla.
Hey, Basha.
Good to have you, and thank you for joining me today and having a chat about your experience of working with me on the 12-week program that I put together to help women. So, can I ask you what experience have you had in your time with working with me over this last 3 to 4 months?
Oh, a lot. Where do I start? I joined the program with a vision of wanting to lose weight, but as I've gone and progressed on the program, I've learnt a lot more about mindset and just learning about. It's not just about losing weight; it's about working inside you. It's the cleansing your body, and your mind. That's has a lot more positive impact on me rather than concentrating on becoming slim. So yeah, the knowledge that I have now, I'm a lot more aware when I go out of what I'm buying, what I'm what I'm eating, what I'm selecting when I go to restaurants, because I'm fully aware of how, what sugar does to your body, having too much salt, too much processed food. So that kind of knowledge, I knew it wasn't good for you, certain processed food wasn't good for you, but I wasn't fully aware of what it was doing to your body. But having learned all that on the program has given me a lot more a clear mind and helped me make better decisions. Just on this journey, right? Really.
Fantastic. And tell me, I know at the very beginning, you experienced some barriers. Do you mind sharing a little bit about that? Because a lot of people experience this and are not always so don't always realize that they're going to experience barriers. Do you mind shedding a little light on that?
No, not at all. I'm a quite emotional person, so when I'm down or get emotional, I tend to find comfort in food. So and that's been my tool for the last few years to cope with my emotions, and I've become a less and less happier because of those emotions. I didn't realize that was sort of one of my biggest barrier, is not learning how to cope with those emotions, and just joining the program just made me realize that I've found tools to cope with those emotions. I've on your programs I've learned meditation, listening to podcasts, and all your coaching sessions. I've learned things that has given me tools to stop feeling the way I feel, and that has turned it in. Those tools has given me positive learning. What I'm trying to say is, basically, it's just taught me how to cope with my emotions better and turn it into positive rather than negative.
Yeah, so feeling positive emotions.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, like I said, until today, until recently, I didn't realize I had those barriers. I didn't realize that there were mental barriers. But now I know that they were, and that's what was stopping me from achieving a better, healthier version of myself.
It's really interesting, isn't it, how our mind, we don't realize just how much it can get in our own way. And
absolutely, yeah.
And really pleased you were able to share that so freely, because I think a lot of people just don't realize that this possibly can occur, and how do you navigate it. And did you feel supported in the process?
Yeah, absolutely. Every time I felt that I was kind of at the end of where I needed to be, and every time I spoke to you, I just got more. I got more. What's the word I'm looking? Inspirational. You know, you are really are inspirational, and meeting you face to face was really a great opportunity for me to see what you do and how you make that positive changes in everybody's life. And to think that, you know, you're doing that to help everybody, and I wanted to grab that opportunity and just try and learn as much as possible from you. So yeah, you've always lifted me up. Your positivity, what you talk about, how you talk about it, it's always lifted me up, and I was thinking, yes, I can do this. Every time I felt that, no, I can't do this, talking to you has always lifted me up and thought, no, I can do this, I can achieve this. So yeah, it's been great. And if it wasn't for you, I don't think I would have the knowledge that I do now about the health, the mindset. I think what I've learned on the journey is a lot more important than what I wanted to achieve.
Yeah, and achieving
So
it takes time sometimes, especially when
yeah.
we have mental barriers in our way. And do you feel like you're implementing? So it's a key thing, because a lot of people learn a lot of information, but actually implementing is the much more powerful part of learning.
You're right. Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. I am fully aware of whenever I feel a little bit like, oh God, and I can hear your voice in my head. I can hear you say, Tarla, you're worth this change. You can do this. You're a giver. You need to give time to yourself. You need to, and I constantly have that in my head that I give so much to everybody. I need to give it to myself as well. So I never thought of myself before. It was always I've put everybody else before myself before. I was thinking about family, in-laws, husband, children, brother, sister, everyone but myself. But now I'm like, no, I need to give that time to myself as well. I love everybody else. I look after everybody else, but I'm started to learn to love myself on the program. So yeah, absolutely. So for that reason, I'm making better choices when I go out. I'm like, no, I'm not going to have, I'll have one drink. That's it. I'll stop at that. No, I'm not going to have all of that pudding or cake. A classic example was at the weekend we had a 21st birthday program, and it was a religious event, so it was in a temple. So they had, you can imagine the food they had there, and I was quite what's the word I'm looking for? Strong-willed to say no to a fresh cream birthday cake, to say no to the Indian sweets, and say no to fried food, and to have. Normally, I would eat 2 chapatis, but that day I had asked them to give me the smallest chapati, and on 1 chapati I was quite full. So I was quite proud of those decisions I made, and I was quite pleased with myself. Because at one time I would have gone, I thought, oh, it's birthday, your family's around, you've seen everybody, happy occasion, just eat and be happy. But now I've realized that I don't need to eat as much or certain food to feel happy. I don't need alcohol. I don't need cake. I don't need crisps. I can be happy without it. And learning to go on to intermittent fasting. Also, again, I think, well, if I can survive so many hours without it, why do I want to eat just for the sake of eating? Why do I want to put that into my body when my body doesn't need it? So yeah, I've continued doing the intermittent fasting, and I've progressed from doing 8 hours to and just get increasing it by week. And yeah, I'm just really pleased how far. I mean, when I think about it, I just think, yeah, I'm really pleased with the choices I make, the decisions I make, just mentally how I feel about my own decisions. I feel great.
So what would you say, to sum up, like what would you say you've achieved in the time we've worked together?
I've achieved sort of a better mindset. It's, mentally given me a chance to kind of think about myself, put my health first. And I didn't realize that there was so much work to be done mentally, to become healthier. I thought it was always a case of lose weight, you become healthy. But being on this program's taught me that that's not the case. It's how you what's the word I'm trying to look for? It's how you see yourself mentally, from within rather than inside rather than outside. So yeah, I've learned to work on my mind more than my body, and I think that's helped me. It's the right way for me anyway.
Yeah, and I think for you very specifically, even when we spoke just before we started this recording, how you talked about feeling in a completely different place. Do you feel
absolutely? I don't know if you can remember my first call with yourself. I was just so down, so low, wasn't happy with myself at all. I was just like choking up just talking about myself. But now, 12 weeks on, I feel different. I don't feel like I've lost my mum, and before, just mentioning mum used to just bring me in tears, but now I talk about my mum and she puts a smile on my face. I'm able to cope with those emotions a lot better. Before, I couldn't even mention my mum. As soon as I mentioned my mum, I used to just break down in tears. But now I think about mum, and I've learned to be happy when I think about her rather than sad. And I remember having the conversation with you, and I'm just thinking, and that's such a big achievement for me, because I've struggled coping with loss of mum. And
how long did she pass?
I lost mum in 2019.
So it's been some time that you've been in this.
Absolutely, yeah. And as the time's gone on, it's got harder and harder for me until I met you and came on this program. And I feel like I've learned that, like I said, it was a massive barrier for me, and to be able to cope with those emotions is a huge achievement for me.
Yeah, and then when you shared with me some of the things that you were doing, visiting places and feeling so, I mean, I was ecstatic for you. I was so proud of you. So Tarla, thank you so much for coming and talking to me and telling us, sharing your story and your success. And are you going to continue, is what my main thing is. Are you going to keep this plan and everything you've learned in your life?
Absolutely, because I'm not going to let you get out my head. You're my inspiration. I think you're just a breath of fresh air, positive, and I think we all need some of that in our life. And keeping that in my mind is going to keep me going, and it's going to want me to continue with the journey that I'm on, and I'm not going to stop.
Fantastic. And Tarla, I'm so proud of you. Absolutely. And I can't wait to get in touch and see how you're getting on, because I'd love to just hear your progress. And yeah,
Absolutely, I'll be back again for more. Thank you so much for everything you've helped me with. I just couldn't thank you enough. But yeah, it's just the beginning. So yes, there's more.
You're so radiant. Your confidence just shines through. And so keep going, and well done. Thank you once again for coming and joining me for this conversation.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for having me.
That's okay. Thanks.